Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Merritt and I teach high school social studies. Last semester I taught Honors World History and on-level economics. This semester I teach AP Macroeconomics and on-level economics. I'm going to flip through today my Happy Planner teacher edition of my teacher planner from last semester, so you can just kind of see how I use it. This is not the cover. I had this cover made a really long time ago. I think I got it from Jane's Agenda, maybe. They no longer do custom covers. If whoever did it doesn't do custom covers anymore unless they're printouts. So this one you couldn't get, but I'll have to look up and see where I actually got it. I put metal discs on it. This is just where I stored the last month's. This is the Happy Planner I'm using this year, the Do It Makes Your Soul Happy, but it is quite thick. I don't know if you can see that on these original discs. So I use the current semester in here, and then I just put the old part in the in this just to store it. So the first couple of pages are just welcome back to school notes. It's got my school name on it. So things like our pre-planning schedule, our open house schedule, and then it starts, because we actually start pre-planning in July. I had to pull out the month of July from my previous year's Happy Planner so that I actually had a week. Happy Planner, please make your planners go from July to June instead of August to July, pretty please, because some of us start pre-planning in July because we start school the very first week of August. So these were the things that I needed to do during pre-planning, where you see we had a mandatory breakfast, we had countywide meetings, so the first day back is meetings all day long. I had a department head meeting on Tuesday, figuring out what days we're going to tutor. We have a fantastic system in our school. We are a Title I school, 100% free and reduced lunch, and we use part of our Title I funds for after-school tutoring. We have tutors in every academic area, Monday through Thursday after school. So I tutor 2 days a week. Right now it's Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I stay until, I stay until 5 o'clock, 5:30, and we actually have money that will pay us to stay that late. I know a lot of teachers stay for their students unpaid. We use Title I funds for that. Not only do we have Title I funds to pay the teacher, we also have money to run a bus so that any student that is staying after school has transportation home, so they can't use or don't have to use the excuse of there's nobody to pick them up. So that is a really great benefit of working at this school, that we do get paid for after school tutoring, and all of our students have the ability to stay because they have transportation. So this July 26th through 29th was our pre-planning. Our first day of school was Friday the 30th. Notice I don't have anything down for plans of what I'm going to do that day. This is not where I actually turn in my lesson plans. This is just what keeps me on track. And you'll notice there's a lot of scratching out, a lot of redoing. You'll see the same plans on 2 or 3 different days as we go, because sometimes we get off. Sometimes we have an assembly. Sometimes there's no air conditioner or water in our school, and they've had to call school off because of that. When you live in Georgia and there is no air conditioning in August, you cannot come to school, or the students can't, at least. I don't ever hardly use these notes pages. I don't think I've used them once in this planner. Okay, this is my monthly view. Anywhere there is a student's full name, I've tried to put a sticky note over it, so if it's their first and last name, I've put sticky notes so that you can't see that. If it's just their first name, I don't mind having it out, because there's a lot of Margarets in the world. I actually don't teach a Margaret, but it's just a name I was thinking of. So this is just kind of an overview. I put my students' birthdays on there. I put any professional learning that we may have, what dates those are, if it is something important, if report cards are coming out, if it's the end of a quarter, anything that is big that I know in advance. Our actual academic calendar would go in here. I keep, just so you see, in whichever one I'm using currently, I use this perpetual calendar. This is where I have what's going on. So this would have been first semester here. These aren't students, these are my coworkers. I keep in my department my coworkers' birthdays, and just like our major holidays, so I know that there's no school. So as I'm planning, I know what days to block off, when progress reports come out, the end of a 9 weeks, when benchmarks are happening. I am the advisor for all of our students, but I do a lot with seniors, and so anytime I have a meeting with the seniors or with any of my whole cohort groups, I would write it down in here, and then I would transfer it over into my monthly planner. So this is what a weekly spread would look like. It is much more functional than decorative. I put some decorative elements. The way that I do this is these little stickers are from Life Scripted Co., her Etsy shop, and she is fantastic about getting these stickers. In fact, I ordered them once. I've been using it. This is the second year I've been using these stickers. And after I ordered them the first time and I reordered them, she actually didn't charge me as much to order them the second time because she had already scripted them and she had them still left in her, I guess somewhere in her computer. So she actually gave me a discount for a reorder, which I thought was really fabulous. I'm very appreciative of that and love using these stickers in my planner. If you notice that I do have 2 columns that are free. Sometimes I use those and sometimes I don't. Last spring I had 3 different preps, and so I had 3 different classes up here. This last semester I did not have a 3rd prep, so I just used this box as decorative or any notes that I need to make after the fact. And then over here, I am in charge of advisement for the whole school. So I write out what is happening during that, things that I need to get done during my planning period, and things to get done after school. I am in grad school, so you'll notice a couple of weeks I have grad school stickers here. I'm taking this coming semester off from grad school, so and then at the end of this current semester I didn't actually write all my grad school stuff in there, so you'll see this column change up a little bit as we go. So if you notice here, I just write the basics of what we're doing. So in my regular economics class, this would be the beginning of what we do, and then in my honors world history, this last semester was only the second time I've ever taught the Honors World History class, and so I switched up a little bit about how I did this column as we went. You'll kind of see it look a little different and change back, I believe, as we go. So here is the second week of school. My planning, I just sort of had a running to-do list. Advisement is held on Wednesday, so usually you'll see a big box on Wednesday for something that needs to happen, and then the others are things that I either need advisors to do with their students or some sort of plans that I need to make to send off. So the third week of school, we were already virtual. We made it a few days before COVID had us going back home. So notice I have a lot of things scratched out, but we were not going to take a test virtually. So we waited. We came back this Thursday and tested here so that we weren't doing that while we were all virtual. And it took us a day or two to get readjusted to being virtual. So I have the first day of grad school, so you notice that picks up there. And so as we go through August, notice I've changed up my plans. Sometimes if it takes me a little longer to do something, that's okay. When I do my pacing guide, I build in extra days for if we have a problem for things like if we have to go virtual and we get off a day, or again, like I said, if our air conditioner goes out, which our air conditioner and water did go out this past fall, and we had to take a day off from students to be able to deal with that and get our air conditioning and water working. So we have that. I have my planning. We have substitute notebooks with emergency lesson plans, and we had to take them to our academic coach so that she could check over them, make sure we had all of our rosters, some emergency work for students to do. I don't normally leave emergency plans are for when I have no idea that I'm gonna have to be out. I don't know that I've ever needed, maybe once in the history of teaching have I needed to use emergency lesson plans. Our department is really good about helping each other out so that I can stay on track. No school, but the bell's still ringing. And so our department is really good about making sure that we stay on track. There is another person who teaches economics, and so a lot of times I'll just have him get together what he's working on. He'll write on the board what kids need to do. Or with Google Classroom, it's so easy because I can go in and Google Meet with the kids and be able to stay up to date. I can put in work from home. Even last week when I had COVID, I just put in work in Google Classroom, so I didn't have to use anything emergency. I could just keep right on trucking with my lesson and what I was doing. So this is more how I organize my lessons. This is just Unit 3 for my Honors World History, where I have what their learning target is. And I have the dates listed out here. I turn in lesson plans that look more like this, like an agenda, to my academic coach. So I'm not using the planner as my actual lesson plans. I'm using it as what am I doing day to day? What things do I need to run off? What resources do I need to have? Who do I need to help? Who needs to help me? Things like that. All right, so September looks like this. Normally, I don't love birds in my planner, but I think these are kind of cute. These vacation, is that what they were called? Out for Adventure stickers, I just thought were so cute. And again, I'm not a fan of birds. Birds kind of give me the creeps a little bit. But in my planner, I think they're kind of cute. So this was a holiday for Labor Day, and we actually got Friday and Monday off, and a professional learning day on Tuesday. So again, you'll see I have a lot of crossed out things where it took me a little extra time to get things done in Honors World History. Again, this was the second time that I've taught it last semester, so my pacing wasn't always on, and my kids last year took completely different amount of times to do certain work. I also changed up a lot of things because things worked and things didn't work last semester, and so I changed those. But these were the general idea of what I was going to be on. All right. So again, we had Monday off. Look, no air, no water, so we had off of school. We ended up having our professional learning that day, but Monday was Labor Day, so the kids actually got an extra day for Labor Day, so you'll notice again, all of my stuff starts getting crossed out so that we know that having to make up this day. All right, so I just think these are so cute. I love these water bottles and these sneakers. So this was just a fun, it sort of reminded me of like a 70s, 80s look in my planner. But again, it's not super decorative. It is much more functional. I have my after school things. The bell's gonna ring a lot. Again, no kids here today because it's a holiday, but the bell's still going. And they don't seem this loud when you have 25 kids in a classroom, but when you're in here by yourself, they seem extraordinarily loud. All right, so not even a lot of decoration on this day at all, just a few little stickers. Ended up not testing. Notice I'm just pushing things back here, starting Unit 4. in Honors World History and on Unit 3 in Economics there. And then I'm not sure what was going on this week, but I don't have anything for advisement or planning or after. I must have fallen off here. Not sure what happened. Okay, that should be the last time it rings for quite some time. And then my October monthly looks like this, where I've got birthdays, but I only have first names on this one. So this was homecoming week here. So I have my homecoming days that we did, and then homecoming football game this night. I chaperoned the homecoming dance. That night at our school, you either have to participate in homecoming or prom. Usually I help decorate for prom, but this year I chaperoned the homecoming dance. So that was Saturday the 23rd. And then this was Red Ribbon Week. And so we had Wear Red Day on Monday. And then we also had Red Ribbon videos during advisement on Wednesday. And then Thursday, again, like I said, I'm the advisor for our school, and I do a lot of work with seniors, and this was a college fair where the students went. So they went to a local college and got to go to the college fair, and so I needed to indicate that a lot of seniors and juniors would be gone on Thursday, the 28th. So then these stickers I really like. I normally don't use these kind of stickers in my planner, in my teacher planner, because I keep them at home. But I must have been planning from home this week, and was planning on going to the beach Friday the 8th. We had the next week off for fall break, and I go to the beach every year with my high school girlfriends. There are 5 of us, and we all go to the beach for that. And so I started decorating and then realized, why am I bothering doing that when I'm not going to be at school? So I did this one. I love these colors. I love these pastels. I think this is so cute. Obviously, just didn't even write anything here at all. I think I ran out of stickers this week, and I had to do a reorder is what was going on here, because I don't have my Life Scripted Co. stickers up here at all. So anyway, I just think this is super cute. Again, I have my few little birthdays in, what we were doing. Report cards went out that day, so I have this in my little decorative column. So I knew that I needed to go during my planning period to pick out report cards, because they go out 4th block. I don't think that I mentioned that we're on a block schedule at our school, and I don't know how common it is anymore to have block schedules. So for those of you who don't know how that works, it means that we have 1.5 hour long class periods. The students go to 4 classes a day, so that means I teach 3 periods a day, and I have an 1.5 hour long planning period, which is really, really nice. We also have a 30-minute time period called extended learning time, where students are placed in groups. Some of them are remediation groups, some of them are enrichment groups, so it just sort of depends on where they fall. So we have ELT for end of course test, state mandated testing, review class period. So if you are in U.S. history and you are struggling, then you would go to an ELT to review U.S. history. But then we also have for students who may be more advanced or don't need any type of remediation, then they would go maybe to an SAT prep course. Or we even have some that are like life skills courses. So our ag teacher and or our construction teacher teach students things like how to change the oil in their car and how to change their tires and things like that. So we have all sorts of different things that students can do during ELT, which is extended learning time. So 4 classes per semester, and then in January they start a whole new 4 classes. So the way we would hope is they would have 2 academic classes and 2 electives in the fall, and then 2 different academics and 2 electives in the spring. So that's also sort of why I change up my planner, and I only keep each semester in there because it's a whole different group of kids and a whole different group of courses that I may be teaching. All right, so this was getting close. This was, Halloween week, because Halloween was on a Sunday. So I have my little spooky houses here. I was supposed to get my COVID booster shot there, but I didn't because I think that I ended up actually taking these 2 days off of work. And they were giving COVID booster shots at school, and so I didn't get my shot then. I ended up getting it over Christmas break, literally a week before I came down with COVID. I believe that I must have gotten exposed right about the time I got my shot. So, all right, and this is my November. It's not very seasonal, but I just like the colors. So I've got Thanksgiving week out here, days that we would have professional learning during our planning period, election day, we were voting on our SPLOST, and then on Wednesdays, we had someone come talk to seniors about financial aid during advisement that Wednesday. Progress reports went out the 10th, and we had to turn in data analysis to our academic coach on the 17th. So I did the Halloween the week before, and then I did a Day of the Dead spread here, which I think is super cute. So I really like this. So notice starting here in my honors world, I got very specific with the learning targets. That doesn't last very long. So let's see if there's anything else that's interesting in there. I had freshmen for ELT, so this wasn't all about advisement. I had freshmen for extended learning time, and so I wanted to make sure that they understood everything that was required for the class. So I actually went back over the handbook with them, just so they could refamiliarize themselves with procedures and things that they needed to know throughout their high school career. So I went back over the graduation requirements, how many credits they would have to have for the entire time that they're in high school to be able to graduate. And so not only just how many credits, but which specific credits they needed. In Georgia, we have a Hope Scholarship and the Zell Miller Scholarship, where if you have a certain GPA and or a certain SAT or ACT score, that your part or all of your college tuition can be paid for through our lottery program. So we went back over the requirements for Hope and Zell. Georgia Futures is the website in the state of Georgia that students use to apply to a lot of in-state colleges. It is also where they go to find their Hope GPA, because it's not the same as their transcript GPA, because not all classes count, just academic classes count for Hope. And it's also where they send their transcripts to schools. We went over financial aid for college, even though they're freshmen. I just like to start talking to it. So when they talking to them about it, so by the time they're seniors, they're not surprised. For some reason, students always want to bring in prescription medicines to school, and that is not allowed. Even over-the-counter medicines are not allowed, and they have to go to the front office. So I wanted to go back over medicine. And then we have a discipline matrix in our handbook, which spells out specifically the consequences for certain actions. And so I went over the discipline matrix, and I actually made it fun and did a Kahoot on it, so that just to be silly, like what would happen if you did something really, really horrible at school. So we played Kahoot on our discipline matrix on the 5th. And then let's see, in November, kept going with my ELT. We talked about the ACT and the SAT and the Accuplacer and the ASVAB. I had several who want to go into the military, and so we talked about the ASVAB. We worked on SMART goals, and we did short-term SMART goals and long-term SMART goals for them to do. And I really would love to see these kids back their senior year and talk about the SMART goals that they made this year and see what happened. I'm I must have had a bad day here. I literally wrote, I'm not here, I don't care. The teacher problems, huh? So, rough day. Oh, I must have taken I think I'd had a bad day, and I took a sick day for a mental health day, and went to my daughter's to be with her. She's a senior at Auburn this year, and so I must have. And there's bells again. So I must have had a bad day somewhere. Oh, I had jury duty. This was just an off week because I had jury duty and then I actually was sick and then I took a mental health day. So I took those 3 days off. I never do that. In 16 years, I rarely ever took the day off. And this year, we keep hearing as teachers about our mental health and self-care, and I have days and I am going to take care of myself and I'm going to take care of my children. This is my older daughter's last year of college and I want to be with her and celebrate with her. And so I'm taking days that I need this year for my own well-being. And I used to make myself feel guilty about it, and I would feel terrible about not being here for my students. I would feel terrible like I was putting my coworkers out. And I realized that what ended up happening was I just felt terrible by being here and stressing out. And so I am not going to feel guilty for taking days that I have. I'm not going to feel guilty for taking sick days, and I'm not going to feel guilty for taking the personal days that I have. So, growing. And so that was one of those weeks. And then I came back and probably worked really, really hard trying to get myself caught up from that. So again, writing down, it's not advisement except for on Wednesday. It was ELT those days, but I kept it in that category. Regrading stuff because the students didn't do the work that I left. And so when I put in the missings or the zeros for what they didn't do while I was gone, I had to go back and regrade it. So being out does create extra work for us, but sometimes it is worth it. I'm not sure what happened there, what got on here. All right, and that is November. Let's see, I think I have December. Okay, so I had forgotten I still had December in my current planner, so I needed to move it over to the new planner. So this is, I had so many birthdays in December, which I hate having to cover them up because this was such a cute spread. So my daughter's birthday is on the 20th and she turned 19. We did Secret Santa the week of exams. We also did, it was really fun, and I didn't write them in there. I may have written it somewhere else. We did like a spirit week for Christmas where one day was wear all red and green. One day was to wear Christmas pajamas after the students were gone. Our students can exempt exams if they have an 85 average or above in a course. So a lot of students were gone, but we got to wear Christmas pajamas one day to school. We wore red and green one day to school. One day we wore like Christmas headgear. And so we had a lot of fun doing that. And then the 17th was a half day before we got out for Christmas break. So when in December for economics, I do a project for a test grade where it's personal finance, and they have to they go through and figure out how much college will cost, how much their insurance will cost, how much a house will cost, how much a car will cost, and how much money they'll spend on food and clothing, and how much they'll spend on entertainment. And so they go through, it is a pain for me because I am meticulous about how they do it. But it really helps their grade because I walk them through it and I won't let them turn it in. So it's due Monday. They have a full week to complete it. But if they turn it in on Friday and they've worked diligently all week, then they'll get 100 because I will have given it back to them and given it back to them and given it back to them to correct. So I am crazy busy this week. So you notice Friday's the last day for them to turn it in for it to be 100. Where if they've been working and they've had me check it, I've checked it. There are some who finish early, so I had something ready for them by Wednesday if they finished early. So had lots going on here. My Honors World was finishing up their last unit. I only got to World War II. I feel like that is a history person's issue that I never get to Vietnam. I never get to teach Vietnam. I never get to teach post-World War II. So we just got to World War II here. Advisement ended on December 1st, and so we extended our class periods the next week. So we had advisement. Friday was the last day of ELT. And after that, we go to a no ELT schedule. So, and for some reason, I guess because in economics I wasn't doing as much because I was just reviewing for our final exam here after they finished their project, and I had more going on in world history that I accidentally flip-flopped those, which is very weird because I never do that. We were supposed to have a celebration party. Every single person in my honors world history class except for 2 exempted their exams, so we did have a celebration and we did a Secret Santa, which was really, really cute. They had a $15 price limit, and they drew names and got each other small little gifts, so that was a lot of fun. And they didn't have to participate if they didn't want to. So if anyone didn't want to participate or they felt like they didn't have $15, then I talked to them privately, and nobody knew because they all drew different names and they were all really busy, so they didn't know. And then I went ahead and bought 2 small $15 gifts just in case somebody showed up on the day without one. Or if I did have one person who didn't want to participate, and I just told him that I would help him pay for his gift, so he would get a gift. So I did do that for them, but we had a lot of fun having our celebration. And then we had moved classrooms for lit EOC, so somebody was in my room, but I had to go cover somebody else's room this day. Just sort of a running list of things that needed to happen. I was going to have a movie night. We don't show movies in class, but I was going to have a movie night where I brought in pizza for the students, and we watched a movie, and it got canceled because they changed our internet settings and blocked my Amazon Prime so that I could no longer watch it. And our new computers don't have drives for computers, so I bought myself an extra one and had our media specialist come down, and she can't even make it work and make it connect to play because there's some sort of software that is not installed that they have to install. So that was a big bust, and they changed the settings on Monday. So when I pulled it up Monday morning to make sure that it worked fine. And then Tuesday when I got to class, I pulled it up again to check it, and it didn't work. So that was frustrating. And then this was exam week. So this was sort of one of those weeks where it was a little crazy. I have a few, this was saying that I had a test in first block. This was my test in third block, and this was my test in fourth block. Getting myself a reindeer headband because it was red and green explosion on Monday. These were our spirit days for Christmas. Christmas plaid on Tuesdays. I actually wore plaid pajama bottoms. Headwear on Thursday. We wore ugly Christmas sweaters on, I said that Thursday. Headwear on Wednesday. Ugly Christmas sweaters on Thursday. I can't speak today. And then our Christmas pajamas on Friday. So I finalized my grades on Thursday, so they were ready to go. We also have about once or twice a semester, we have what we call Grazing Days, where all of the teachers in our building make some sort of snack food, and we put them in our media center. So Tuesday, certain departments made food and we put it up there so we could just kind of eat on that all day. And then Wednesday, different departments made this, but this was the day that I had to bring in food. So I brought in some crock-pot meatballs, and everybody got to do that. And then this was our last day of school before we got out for Christmas break. So there's the rest of my December that I had for Christmas break. So that was my first semester, my first semester planner in my Happy Planner Teacher Edition. I hope that you enjoyed that. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Please like it. I'm brand new on YouTube, and I am working on quality and quantity of my videos, but I would really appreciate it if you would like or subscribe, and maybe even share with someone to get my videos out there so that people can see them. Thank you for watching. I'm Merritt, and I'm only organized in my planner.